Hello bookish besties, and welcome back to my channel. I'm starting a new video series today, and that's going to be showing you guys every single series I'm in the middle of, because that's going to be adding to our new TBR takedown we're going to be doing. So I'm going to do different episodes of TBR takedown, which is just going to be reading anything off of my TBR. I'm still debating on how to set that up. It's definitely just going to be like a vlog style where I either wrap my books and pick them, I have you guys choose them, or I just go based off of some kind of mood reading or some kind of picking system. This is going to be finishing series that I'm in the middle of, so I'm going to do different episodes for that as well. So it's either going to be continuing series, so episodes where I read the next book in like 3 different series, or one where I just bang out a series if I'm close to finishing it, or I'm going to be showing you guys me DNFing or not finishing series. So I figured I would do this introduction video to show you guys every single series that I'm in the middle of. So series number 1 that I'm in the middle of is The Seasons of Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I have read 'Tis the Season for Revenge, which is the Christmas one, and I also read The Fall of Bradley Reed. Those are both very good. 'Tis the Season for Revenge was, she was getting revenge on her ex by dating her ex's boss, and then The Fall of Bradley Reed was her FBI agent was like falling in love with her, so that was very fun. So I have Cruel Summer, The Ick Factor, and Big Nick Energy, so I want to finish these. I'm also going to be including not only like fantasy series or like actual sequential series, I'm going to be including my romance series that are interconnected, because it's kind of like a whole little universe you're creating, and I think to me that counts as a series. Then we have BK Borison's Lovelight Farms series, or it's actually Lovelight series, I think, actually. I have read Lovelight Farms, so I still have In the Weeds, Mixed Signals, and Business Casual to read. I did love Lovelight Farms. That was between Stella and Luca, and she owns a Christmas tree farm, and they're competing in this competition and fake dating. This one is between Evelyn, which we saw in Lovelight Farms. She's like the social media contest lady that's like coming, and Beckett, who's the grumpy farmer from the first one. Series number 3 is Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I've obviously read this one. I have not read, I think Satan's Affair is technically included in this one, and then I also have to finish it with Haunting Adeline, and then technically the new one that came out, I can't remember what it's called, has to do with the great-grandmother from this one and her stalker. So I have to finish this series. I did enjoy this one, and I do think about it quite often, so I just know that Haunting Adeline is very rough, and I'm nervous to delve back into that. So when I'm ready, I have this to go back to. Series number 4 is a gigantic series, and I have no idea when I'm going to get to it, but it's From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And if you asked me how many books were in the series, I'd tell you I have no idea, because I get confused with this one and then also the Flesh and Fire series. But I think this one has 4 books, and then there's the one where this one is told from Hawk's point of view instead of Poppy. So this is about Poppy. She's a maiden, and she's living in this world of like kind of vampires, I think. You just get a lot of romance, her being really cool, knowing how to fight, and also a lot of mystery and intrigue with the world building. The next one I didn't feel like getting down because it's on like my floating shelves and it's just chilling up there, but that is the Cruel Prince trilogy. I've read obviously the first one, The Cruel Prince, and I really liked it. That's by Holly Black. I have to read the 1.5 little, I think, novella that is The Lost Sisters. I have to read The Wicked King, The Queen of Nothing, and then How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. So I have those left in that one. Series number 6 is Aquatar. I have the first special edition book here, but again, they're like on my floating shelves and like in special decorative places, so I didn't feel like getting it down. But the only one I have left for that is A Court of Silver Flames, and it's on my 25 for 2025 this year, so hopefully I'll be finishing that series. I hope you guys know what this one is about. It's just a lot about fairies. Series number 7 is The Witches of Thistlegrove by Lana Harper. So I have read Payback's a Witch, From Bad to Cursed, Back in a Spell, and In Charm's Way. So I just have the 5th and I think possibly final one, which is Rise in Divine. I think that one came out just last year around like October. But I listened to all of those on audiobook and I really liked them. I do want to do possibly like a physical reread because they're just so cute and I really like the world of Thistlegrove. But it's basically you just follow a couple from Thistle Grove, and obviously there's like a magical problem that they're involved with. It's just your cute, typical witchy rom-com. The next series is another big one, and that is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I have these tiny, cute little copies of the new covers, and I love the new covers. I listened to the first one via audiobook, but I want to go through and physically read and annotate these books. I think I might do with these little covers. They're just, the words are so tiny. I want to physically read these and annotate and be able to like actually follow such an in-depth story. My husband and I are slowly getting through the TV show. He's watched it before, but I've never seen it, so I'm slowly going through it. Series number 9 is The Bonds That Tie by Jay Bree. So I've read the first 2.5, I think. I was like binge reading this series, and then I got, I think, a lot of fatigue from it. So I have the first one, Broken Bonds. I love this story so much. It's about Oleander, and she has a special power that like got her into trouble, and she's running away from her bonded, which are people that you're like put out like your DNA, and they find like matches for you. So she gets bonded with 5 guys, but she's running away from them, and they finally catch her. Now she's going to college, but she's also fighting bigger enemies that are out there. Then we have the Influencer series by Amy Lee. So this is X's and O's. This is technically the second one. I listened to the first one on audiobook, which is Set on You. It was about, I think, like a fitness influencer and a firefighter, and that one was really cute. And I'm excited for this one because I think she's a romance bookstagrammer, which is so much fun. He's also a firefighter, so I wonder if he's going to be a firefighter from like that same squad. I have to see. And then there's the third one, which is The Catch, I believe. So that one's in this series as well. Series number 11 is Sworn Soldier by T. Kingfisher. And I listened to the first one, which is What Moves the Dead. And I kind of liked it, but not really. I don't know if it was just the audiobook that didn't catch me, and I wasn't fully paying attention, and then I was missing things. But it's kind of like a spooky, kind of almost like a haunted, like zombie-esque little story. And then I know there's a novella, and I think there's a second part as well. There's no novella, sorry. So it's What Moves the Dead, which I read. There's What Feasts at Night, and What Stalks the Deep. So I have to read the second 2. I don't think the third one's out yet, but the second one definitely is out. Then another series I have, but again, it's under a gigantic stack of books, and I just like cannot get it right now. It's a Divergent series. I think last year or the year before, I was in like a group chat where we were buddy reading Divergent because I've never read it. So I read the first one, and then I watched the movie, and I really liked it. I flew through the first one, so I have to read Insurgent and Allegiant. I think I also have to read the novella 4. Then the next series is called Song of the Last Kingdom. So I listened to Song of Silver, Flame Like Night, and again, I don't know if it was just from me audiobooking it, just not fully paying attention to it. I didn't really love this one. I don't know if I'll be continuing this series. There's the second one called Dark Star Burning, Ash Falls Whites. It just was like very juvenile because it is YA, so I don't know if it's for me, and I can't really remember a lot of what went on. Just that she had these powers that I think were like tattooed onto her by her mother. Don't know if I'll continue on with this series, but it is one that I'm technically in the middle of until I DNF it. Series number 14 that I'm in the middle of is obviously the Empyrean series. So I read Fourth Wing, have not read Iron Flame yet, and I just got Onyx Storm, so I'm hoping to continue this one. I really liked Fourth Wing when I read it. Then thinking back on it, I'm like, was it that good? But I did have a really fun time. But I started Iron Flame when it first came out, and I was so bored with it, so that's why I'm like trying to possibly get through Iron Flame and then get to Onyx Storm. But I've heard mixed opinions on that, so. Series number 15 is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So this is the Crowns of Nyaxia duology with a small novella, but then there's also offshoots of this series as well. I read this one and I really liked it. It's basically a human girl being raised by the king of vampires, and she goes into this really scary tournament and befriends a really powerful vampire, and they fall in love, and crazy things happen at the end. So this was a really good one. I really liked the trials in this one. They were very high stakes and very intricate, so I really liked that. And I really did like Rain and Araya's tension, and then I love Mish as well. It did take me a while to get into that one though, so I do have to read 6 Scorched Roses as well as The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. And then there's Mish's story that's coming out right now. The next series is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This one again I audiobooked, and I don't know if it was too YA for me with like silly names and stuff like that, but they basically go into like the forest, and I think there's like hunters and then something else. I can't remember too much about it, but I think it was just too YA for me and I didn't really love it. I would consider possibly doing a reread, but then the next two books are The Hunting Moon and The Whispering Night, and one that I still have to decide whether I want to DNF it or continue it, but again, didn't love the first one. I think I have to stop reading things on audiobook, which I've really slowed down this year because I find I don't tend to enjoy them as much as I want to when I audiobook them. This is a series that I know I'm DNFing, and that's Lightlark by Alex Astor. I don't know if I think I've talked about this a few times, but I hated this book. I picked it up and it felt like I was reading something written by an 8th grader, and the story was just not good. The names were god-awful, and there was so many grammatical errors, and the sentence structure was awful, and let me tell you, I just felt like I was reading like a lower than a middle grade book. And now I read YA. You can see from like the series that I've read, I do read YA often, but this was just not it. Series number 18 is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and I really loved this one. It was so cute. It's about Viv, and she's an orc, and like she was like in this party group, whatever you want to say, of other like warriors and stuff that would go around and kill monsters, and she got this one stone and she was like, I'm done, and then she left and opens up a coffee shop because she like traveled the world and she wants to bring coffee to like smaller places in the world, and this is the girl she falls in love with, so it is sapphic. Then she hires this little ratkin, and he's just like a little rat thing, and he makes the best desserts, and I love him so much. And then there's also, I think, either a dwarf or a gnome that helps her build her coffee shop. It's very cozy fantasy, but then there are stakes and an actual plot going on, so I really liked this one. So I will be continuing with Bookshops and Bone Dust, which I have on my shelf, but I also audiobooked this one. I think I would want to do like just a cute little physical reread for something cozy. Then moving on to the Deathcast series by Adam Silvera. So I read They Both Die at the End. Don't let the title fool you, okay? Because they do. I didn't believe it, but they do. And I also I listened to both of these on audiobook. I also listened to The First to Die at the End. That one I don't remember as much because I didn't like it as much. So number 1, They Both Die at the End was such a good story. I would honestly consider doing a reread for that one, and I think like younger people should read it because it's like these bonds that you make and like falling for someone. It was so cute, but it was also really sad. So then he is coming out with more. So this technically number 2 is going to be The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, and then number 3 is going to be No One Knows Who Dies at the End. Series number 20 is the Saturn Me series. These are my special editions. I really love these ones. They're so pretty. I've read the first like 3, I think, including the novellas. Again, I get burnt out with series so fast, but I want to, oh my god, this is so reflective. I want to continue and finish this one because I am meeting Tahara Mafi in April. I'm going to the midnight release for her new book coming out where it's James's story, and I'm so excited. So I want to finish this series before I meet her, so I can read that one right away because the cover is so pretty. The next series is the Royals and Romance series. So I read the first one. This one's by Sarah Rash, I think her last name is. First one is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I really loved this one. It's an romance. It was so sweet, so much like, it was like a cute little rom-com, but then there was also like politics and greater world things they were dealing with, so that one was adorable. And then the next one I think is Go Luck Yourself, and it is between, so it's the second Prince of Christmas, so it's the Prince of Christmas's brother from the first book, and I think it's the Prince of St. Patrick's Day, so that one's gonna be so cute. I can't wait for that one to come out. Series number 22 is the Vancouver Storm series by Stephanie Archer. So I read Behind the Net between Jamie and Pippa. He's the goalie. We know my love for goalies. And she's his assistant. They knew each other from high school. Very slow burn, very good. A little too long, a little too spicy at the end, but other than that, very good. Really liked this one. So there's 3 more that I have to read. The second one is The Fake Out. I think that's between her sister and the guy Jamie's rivals with. Then we have The Wingman and Gloves Off. Then we have the Dream Harbor series by Lori Gilmore. I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and it was so stinking cute. I really liked this one. A lot of people didn't. I liked the little mystery. I liked the little cat in this. I really liked the main characters. I liked the small town romance. So I will be definitely continuing this series, but probably seasonally because they kind of like tend to match up with the season. So I have to read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which I have, and I also have The Christmas Tree Farm, so I have to read those two. Then coming out is The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, which that cover's gonna be so cute. And then The Gingerbread Bakery, which is also adorable. This is the Wicked Games series by Kaylee Smith. This is Phantasma, and then Enchantra I think is coming out soon. That's about her sister. Again, I don't know if there are going to be more books or if it's just like a quick little duology, but I really liked Phantasma. Really great OCD rep, really cool trials, loved Blackwell. It was a little spicy, like in like stupid times, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Other than that, I really liked it. Then we have Carval by Stephanie Garber. So I obviously read this first one, and I want to get to the rest of the series soon so I can get to Once Upon a Broken Heart. I really liked the mystery that was going on in the games when she went to go find her sister. The ending was kind of crazy, so I still have Legendary and Finale and the little novella that just came out, The Witches of Pleasant Grove by Jennifer Chipman. This first one was adorable. This was Spookily Yours that I read. I did give it like a 3.5 because it was a little quirky, a little goofy at points, but I really liked it. It was this witch, her cat familiar had just passed away, so she went to go get a new cat, and that cat wound up being a demon, and she wound up falling in love with him, not in cat form, don't worry. And she also works at this bakery coffee shop with her sister, so very cute. And the prince, or no, the king, it's either the prince or the king of like the demon world wants the sister. So that's the next book, which is Wickedly Yours. It's about the sister being like captive by this king slash prince and being in the demon world. Then we have A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. So this is the Stars and Shadows series. I don't know if I'll be continuing this one because when you think about like a really corny, not great fantasy romance, like one to embarrass the genre, you kind of think of this one. It was just like she met him and fell in love with him like in 2 seconds, and then the lines that they'd say would make me cringe. And I can't do cringeworthy quotes. They really freak me out. So there's 3 more in this series. There's A Kingdom of Blood and Betrayal, A Kingdom of Venom and Vows, and A Kingdom of Fire and Fate. I don't know if I'll be continuing this one. Like I said, very cringy, and I could barely get through this one. Oh, there's a bookmark in here. Yeah, I could barely get through this one. I really wanted to love this one, but I met Holly Renee. She's so sweet, so I just didn't like this one. Then we have The Ruinous Love Trilogy by Brynn Weaver. So I read Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark. This is my little special edition. I love it because I love Rowan and Sloane. These 2 serial killers that compete in this serial killer competition with each other. The second one is Leather and Lark. That's fake marriage between Lark and Lachlan, which is Rowan's brother, and Lark is Sloane's best friend. So we get a lot of Rowan and Sloane in the second book as well. And then the third book, Scythe and Sparrow, I think either just came out or is just coming out soon, so I'm excited for that one. Also met Brynn Weaver, and I love her. Then we have the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I read Brutal Prince. I liked it. It was like my first mafia romance, I think, which was good. Ada and Callum, they're from 2 rival gangs, obviously in this Chicago mafia, and she accidentally burns down Callum's library. And since she acted out and now they need to make amends between the families, she's forced to marry Callum, and then there's some like dark mafia stuff they're fighting against, so they go through in this together. So I really liked this one. So I have a bunch left in this one because this is a really long six book series, but they're small. So I have Stolen Heir, Savage Lover, Bloody Heart, Broken Vow, and Heavy Crown. So I still have the 5 left, but I'm excited for those ones. They're like fun little palette cleansers when you just want like a mafia romance that's not like too dark. Then we have the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I have read Flawless. This is between Rhett and Summer, and Rhett said something that kind of almost screwed up his career with like the whole farming community because he's a bull rider, and she's a publicist that helped him get his act back together. and they wind up falling in love. I really like all of the boys in this series, so I'm excited to continue with the Chestnut Spring series. So I still have Heartless, Reckless, Powerless, and Hopeless, and then we go into the Rose Hill series, which is Wild Love, Wild Eyes, and then we also have the Gold Rush Ranch series, which I also want to read because the new covers are adorable. Then we have one of my favorite series, which is the Jacksonville Rays series by Emily Rath. So this Pucking Around, you guys know about this. I'm not going to talk about it that much, but we're between 3 guys on the Jacksonville Rays, which is the Florida hockey team, and Rachel, who is their new athletic trainer. Fall in love, form a little found family, great spice. I love this book. I read the Ever After Volume 1. I read that as well as this one. I really want the UK people covers of these because they're amazing. The characters are so cute on the front. So I still have That One Night. I never read that prequel novella, so I want to read that one. That's between Jake and Rachel. Then I have to read Pucking Wild, Pucking Ever After Volume 2, and Pucking Sweet. And then I guess we're getting 2 more after that, which I'm so excited about. So we have Pucking Strong and Pucking Free. The next series is My Vampires. So that's by Jenna Levine, and the first one is My Roommate is a Vampire, which I audiobooked. That was really cute, really fun. She needs like a cheap apartment because I think she lost her job or can't find a job, and she finds this really cheap apartment. She's so confused because it's beautiful, and then she does find out that her roommate is a vampire. I really actually want to read that one, reread that one. Then we have the next book that just came out, which is My Vampire Plus One, and I think it has to do something with her friend maybe, and Reginald, which is her roommate's best friend. Then we have the GC Stars series, which I just started, by Chelsea Cortell. I loved the first one. That was Face Off. I just talked about that in a recent vlog. It's between Maverick Miller and Emmy Hartwell. She just came up to the NHL, and he's the captain of the DC Stars team. They have this like dislike to lovers, really good banter, really good interactions with the other guys on the team. Really love that whole thing. The next one is between her friend Piper and the goalie Liam, and then that one's called Power Play. Hudson's book is coming out soon, and that one's called Slapshot, and Hudson is literally the cutest little bean ever. I cannot wait for that story. Then one that I'm in the middle of right now is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I'm almost finished with this. I'm really liking it so far. I think it's gonna be somewhere between a 3 and a 4, and then I've heard that the books get better from there, so the fact that I'm already loving this one is amazing. It's about these gods came and like linked gods and mortals, but then the descended are only allowed to rule, so you have the descended versus like the poor mortal slums, and there's like discourse being sown by the mortals in all of these realms, and she joins like a group of mortals that are rebels, and she's fighting back while also being a healer at the castle and kind of flirting with the prince every time she goes there. That's the Kindred Curse saga, and I have, after this one, I'm going to have Glow of the Everflame, Heat of the Everflame, and then Burn of the Everflame. I don't think that 4th one's out yet though. So one year I was just really bored at work around Christmas time, and I listened to The Christmas Wedding Guest, which is just like a Hallmarky little rom-com, and it's actually part of a series by Susan Mallory. Don't know if I'm going to be continuing this, but I figured I'd count it anyway because it is one that I'm technically in the middle of. So Say You'll Stay is the 0.5 either book or novella. Then we have Home Sweet Christmas, and then Suddenly This Summer. Then we have the Meow and Forever Cat Cafe by Cody Gary, and it's so cute. This is a cat cafe Christmas. I loved this one so much. Literally on the back it says Christmas, coffee, and cats, and I love that. And there's this vet, Kara, and she really loves cats, so she opens like a little cat cafe and wants to basically like help them, help owners help their cats, and then have adoptable cats that people can take home. And then there's the marketing guy, Ben, that she falls in love with, that helps her basically like reinvigorate her business and get it going again. And then the second one I do have, and that is Finding Mr. Perfect, and I'm excited for that one. Then I'm in the middle of the Meant to Be series, which is all by different authors. I listened to By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. He is like some kind of like famous athlete or person, and I think she goes and tries to write his autobiography, biopic, whatever, and he's really, really grumpy, and she has to like get him out of his shell. So that one was cute. Then we have If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy, Kiss the Girl by Zoraida Cordova, Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren, and then Worth Fighting For by Jessie Q Sutanto. Then I'm also in the middle of this series called The Race for Riches or Romance, and I read this so long ago back in college, but it was Crush in the Cascades. It was cute. They like went on this game show of like kind of surviving in the wilderness, and it's like her and this guy like falling in love in that competition, so it was cute. Then there's also coming out or already came out, I don't know, Tangle in the Tropics, Love in La La Land, and that's it. So I might continue with that one. The first one was like just a fun, silly time, so we'll see. Then we have the Vera Wong series by Jessie Q Sutanto. So it's Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, which I listened to. That one was very funny. She basically finds like a dead body in her tea shop and tries to like do a whole investigation. It's really funny. And then there's also, I think it just came out, or it's coming out April 1st, Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. So that one was really funny. Then by Lynn Painter, I'm in the middle of like the Mr. Wrong Number kind of interconnected series, and unknowingly, I guess I read the second one first, but it was The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I really liked that one. That one was between two characters. I think they meet at a wedding. Like someone's at the wedding and one is like a bartender, and then they're together. And then they accidentally meet on like a dating app a little while later, and they think it's funny, and then they make a wager to see who can get like a boyfriend or girlfriend first, and then after these dates they go into the same place, they go get tacos afterwards, so it's very cute. Then we also have the Mr. Wrong Number, Colin's Proposal, and The Wedding Day. There's like one book and I think 2 novellas. Then I'm also in the middle of A Sweet Mess by J.C. Lee. So I listened to Booked on a Feeling. That one was cute. I think I kind of remember it. She is like childhood best friends with this one guy, and I think they wind up like taking over someone's bookshop. I can't remember. Then there's also A Sweet Mess, which is number 1, and The Dating Dare, which is number 2 that I have to read. I think A Dowry of Blood is getting a novella or something. Oh, it's already out. It actually already came out, but I just wasn't aware of it. But it's an Encore of Roses, and it's an epilogue short story in Alexi's point of view. Betting on You by Lynn Painter is getting, I think it's getting a prequel, so that's better than before. This is Betting on You 0.5. So I didn't like Betting on You, so we'll see if I even read that. I just counted it again because there's more in that world, so we'll see if I finish that one. This is series number 44 that I'm in the middle of, and it is Christmas in Eldovia. I listened to So This Is Christmas, and this is all by Jenny Holiday. I did not like that one, I don't think. I cannot remember what it was about for the life of me. But then we also have A Prince for Christmas and then Duke Actually, so we'll see if I continue that one. We finally made it to the end. The final count is I'm in the middle of 44 series. I think that's actually kind of crazy. A lot of them are interconnected, like romances or some fantasy romances. There's not really much else here. Yeah, 44, we have a lot to tackle. So in the future, again, you'll be getting TBR takedown or tackle videos of some sorts, but these will be specifically like continuing or finishing or DNFing series. So we'll take 44 and try to get down from there, hopefully every time in a video, but we shall see. I'm very excited to do this. It was nice to actually get together every single series that I'm in the middle of. It's kind of like satisfying to actually know what I'm in the middle of. Thank you guys for watching. If you've watched this far, please leave a little cat emoji for the Cat Cafe Christmas, which is just so cute. I love that book. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future content. Thank you as always. Happy reading and love you. Bye.